You have all heard from family and friends that you sort of look like your mom or that you look like your dad. All organisms are the product of a mating between a mother and a father. This genetic recombination is responsible for the diversity of life on this planet and why there are so many different and unique kinds of people. Genes that get passed on to you are found on chromosomes or DNA. Remember that sperm is haploid and carries one set of chromosomes, and the egg is haploid and carries one set of chromosomes. During sexual reproduction, when the sperm enters the egg, a diploid cell is created that contains one set of chromosomes from mom and one set from dad. My mom and dad made me from a combination of genes that they are made up of. I sort of look like my dad, and I sort of look like my mom. However, the new combination of genes that I am made up of is unique and will never be duplicated. Half of your genes are from mom and half are from dad. The genes are found in the genetic code or sequence of bases that is found on DNA. Adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine, or ATCG, are the bases, and their particular sequence determines the type of gene. Genes are usually of two types, dominant or recessive. Dominant genes mask the effects of recessive genes, and recessive genes are only expressed when two sets of recessive genes are received by the fertilized egg, or zygote. Geneticists use letters to symbolize genes. For example, eye color, when simplified, is represented by the letter B. If an individual has brown eyes, their genes contain at least one dominant allele or version. Blue eyes are recessive and masked by brown alleles. What you look like is your phenotype. The phenotype is expressed genes, or rather the physical characteristics that are present in an individual. For me, I have brown eyes. Brown eyes are my phenotype for eye color. This means that either my mom or my dad gave me a dominant allele or gene. There are lots of characteristics that make up your phenotype. Eye color is just one example. Since my dad has brown eyes and my mom has blue eyes, I know the dominant genes came from my dad. This means that I have one dominant gene from my dad and one recessive gene from my mom, since her eye color must be made from having two recessive genes. This allows me to determine my genotype, or the types of genes present. There are three possible genotypes: a dominant-dominant genotype, a dominant recessive genotype, and a recessive-recessive genotype. A dominant-dominant genotype is represented by big B, big B. A dominant recessive genotype is a big B, little b. A recessive-recessive genotype is a little b, little b. Which combination do I have for my genotype? I have a dominant recessive combination, meaning that I have a big B from dad and a little b from mom. Homozygous is a term that means two alleles of the same type are present. For example, big B and little b are homozygous. Heterozygous is when there is one dominant allele and one recessive allele present in the zygote. Am I homozygous or heterozygous? It is standard practice to write dominant allele first and to also capitalize it. Big B, little b is heterozygous. I am heterozygous for eye color. If you know the characteristics present in your parents and yourself, geneticists can track particular genetic traits in a pedigree. This is important for understanding many genetic disorders and will also help you understand why it is taboo to mate with a sibling or someone with a similar genetic makeup. You might not want those recessive alleles expressed. Someday, zygote screening may be common practice and many genetic disorders may no longer be passed on. Would you screen your fertilized eggs?